Welcome back to the channel, guys. Sorry I'm a little under the weather. Long weekend, as you probably heard. This is VIN 1282. This popped up here mid-May 2026. It's a 2016 1J7, which is atomic silver with LA20 black interior. It's for sale at Lexus of Fremont, California. 105,000 miles for $45,000. And it looks like it's been a California car pretty much its whole life. Production statistics: 328 out of the 2,348 cars were atomic silver for the US 49, and 151 of those had LA20 black interior. That's 6.43% of all of the US 49 production was this combo. So like a 5 or 6 out of 10. It's kind of in the middle for rarity as far as color combos go. 2016 specifically, 199 out of the 1,418 cars were atomic silver, and 91 of those had LA20 black interior. So this car is one of 91 at its rarest. As far as options go, this car's a little unusual. It doesn't have the Z1 or Z2 packages, which is like either like the trunk mat, the all-weather floor mats, the key gloves, the rear applique on the rear bumper, the rear clear film. So this car, it doesn't have wheel locks. It doesn't have the key gloves, which are just the things that go around the key fobs. And it doesn't have the all-weather floor mats, but it does have lighted door sills on the front, and it has a trunk mat that was optioned in the rear, but it wasn't the one that was optioned. It was optioned individually. It wasn't optioned as part of a package. It has Mark Levinson, it has orange calipers, and so on. So kind of like the usual things that these cars have for options: Mark Levinson, orange calipers, things like that, but it just doesn't have a couple other ones. A little bit weird there. Carfax, Epic VIN, and Auto Check. So Carfax, I have two. I have my 2026 Carfax and I have a 2024 Carfax, because I'm checking both of them from this point forward. 2026 shows it as a 5-owner, no accident car, and 2024 shows it as a 5-owner, 1-accident car. So I think we're good there. 5-owner, 1-accident California car. Epic VIN shows this as a 4-owner, no accident car, and AutoCheck shows this as a 5-owner, no accident car. So I think it is safe to assume this is a 5-owner, no accident, clean title, California car its whole life. It survived being in the Bay Area for the last 10 years without being stolen, which is amazing to me. So this car, it's probably garaged. It was probably, you know, in a protected area where it wasn't stolen, because so many of these cars have been stolen from the Bay Area. And so this car survived that, and through 5 owners. Previous sales. So this car first went on sale in March of 2016, $88,000 in El Monte, California, which is Longo Lexus, and it was leased a couple weeks later, April 2016, and it was returned in April of 2019. So somebody had a 3-year, probably 36,000 mile lease, something like that. April of 2019, L certified, $53,000 with 32,500 miles, again at Longo Lexus. And it sold in about 2 weeks. And 2019, that's as cheap as these cars would ever be, and with average mileage. And so this is no different. And so a couple years later, November 2021, the price goes up $5,000. So it's like $58,000 with 50,000 miles at a Mazda dealer. And it was in Redwood City, California, and it sold in under a month. June of 2022, so they didn't have it very long, $55,000. With 67,000 miles, again at a different Mazda dealer in Newark, California, and it sold in under 2 months. And then September, they didn't keep it very long. September 2022, $52,000 with 68,000 miles at Lexus of Fremont, L certified. And it sold in under 3 months to the 5th owner. So here it is again at Lexus of Fremont, mid-May 2026. Today is May 17th, 2026, with 105,000 miles for $45,000. So now onto the photos. The dealer's probably detailing it this weekend, getting it ready for sale at the beginning of the week. And so there are currently no photos, but I wanted to do a video because I've already had a few emails about this car. So I do have the previous sale photos, so I can go over those. So specifically the 2022 photos, it had a black wrapped roof. It had a black wrapped front grille. It looks like there's a little bit of damage to the lower part of that front grille surround, like it just hit something or something like that. But it has a blacked out GS emblem on the rear, or the inset part, and a GS black emblem as well. Black mirrors, it could be 2020 mirrors. Some guys replace the mirror entirely, or they wrap them black, so it could be one or the other. But the previous sale photos, even in 2019, it looks like it still had a black roof there. So you're talking about a wrap that's at least 7 years old on this car. I would highly recommend removing that and replacing that if it is still on there once we see the photos here. But from the 2022 photos, I also see delaminating carbon fiber on the interior. So unless any of that has been replaced or refinished, it's probably still got delaminating carbon fiber trim as well. I don't think it has PPF on the front, paint protection film, clear bra. I can see in the 2022 photos, you can see some kind of chips and pits and things like that on the front. So, that's probably the case here. Not a big deal. You can repaint the front bumper. Atomic silver is a very difficult color to paint match. So if that is something you're going to pursue, then I would highly recommend a very high-end painter to match something like that. You may pay a little bit more, but the paint work will not be so obvious. And as I said, it is very hard to paint match on atomic silver. The other thing I see in the 2022 photos is I see a front camera sticking out of the grille. And I think when we get to the service history, you'll see that has probably been removed. And so it doesn't have that. May have Android Auto or CarPlay or like a Grom or something like that on it as well. But at one point it did have an aftermarket camera on it. So as far as the price goes, if this car needed absolutely nothing, then the price for the mileage is just on the upper end of where I would expect it to be. So like the range would probably be like 44 to 46,000 if it needed nothing. And I don't think that's the case here. This car is going to need some other things addressed, and I'll talk about that when we get to the service history. So speaking of the service history, the car is very well dealer serviced, but it's not exclusively dealer serviced. And then also under the fifth owner, it looks like the maintenance was mostly done third party. It wasn't done all at the dealer. So the first entry of note is December of 2016, one wheel repair, and they reprogrammed the low pressure fuel pump. So that is the humming or buzzing that you hear in the back seat, very common on the 16s, and it is addressed. April of 2019, certified pre-owned prep. It said they removed the front bumper, and it doesn't say why. It could be repairing or pushing the lower grill vent, pushing it back. Sometimes those get out of whack. Could be something like that. Also in April of 2019, the JLB recall was done. That's the high pressure fuel pumps. 35,000 miles in August of 2019. The left front parking sensor kept going off and nothing was there. And I know what that is, and they said it here too. It is a aftermarket front license plate bracket. And so I don't think you can see it here, but it sticks out just a little bit. It sticks out just a little bit to enough where the sensor sometimes randomly thinks something's there. And the answer on my blue car is I just flipped it the other direction. It doesn't look as nice, but the sensor doesn't go off. And so that's, at one point this car had an aftermarket license plate bracket on the front. And now it has it's got the holes drilled in the front. So it has a front license plate bracket. And then at that same service, they also noted that it had wheel spacers and that they were cracked, or at least one of them was cracked. And so what causes that? Well, over tightening wheels for one, but if it's just the spacers where they slip over the lug studs, and maybe the holes were not the proper size, so it allowed the spacer to move around a little bit, and it will actually break studs or stretch studs. It can do some damage, and it looks like that's what happened here. But they asked to remove the spacers, and so the dealer did so. And then the very next service, they showed that some of the wheel studs are stretched, and one of the lug studs was stripped. So most likely from using the wrong spacers or the wrong type of spacers. And so they replaced only one lug stud, but that would be probably something I would concern myself with in the future is, you may want to, if you're doing a pre-purchase inspection, have them put this car in the air, but actually remove the wheels and look at the studs. That's not something that's super expensive to replace, but it can be, and it can be a constant headache if, like, every time you remove the wheels, you're stripping a lug nut, removing it or something like that. So that would be something to just look a little bit further on this. If you're gonna do a pre-purchase inspection, remove the wheels and look at the studs. Kind of unusual on this car, but that would definitely be something to look at. October of 2021, 49,000 miles, certified pre-owned prep for the second time, so it was L certified twice. November 2021, 49,000 miles, has a check engine light on, and they found a modified exhaust with the secondary cats removed. That sounds to me like it has a mid-pipe. So it has stock mufflers, stock manifolds, but it has a mid-pipe, and that's very common that you see on these cars. People want a little bit more sound out of the exhaust without it being droney or too loud, and so the sound from these cars, it's highly dependent on what mid-pipe you are using. And so it had one there, and they recommended a replacement, but it was not done there. And then it looks like Fremont Mazda, when it was for sale with them, they replaced it with a stock part. It's on the Carfax. It says catalyst or catalytic converter replaced. So this car is probably back to a full exhaust system, a full stock exhaust system. October of 2022, 68,000 miles, paintless dent repair and paint touch-ups. Doesn't give details as to what they did, so maybe just little touch-ups, wet sand and polish, something like that. Also in September of 2022, remove aftermarket camera system. So there it is. They removed the front one, and it may have had an aftermarket rear one, but it says now they have the factory, it uses the factory backup camera, and that's what it says in the notes. So then there's this 3-year gap in service as far as the dealer goes, but it looks like that's from the 5th owner, and they had it serviced at like Pep Boys and places like that. And on the Carfax, I do see like some tire replacements, but it doesn't say what was replaced. It just says tire or tires repaired or replaced. So I don't know if that means 1, 2, or 3 or 4. So that would be just, look at the date codes on the tires, look at the condition of the tires when you get them, and you can see. But basically, it sounds to me like tires have been fairly recently replaced on this car. There is a last dealer service in March of 2025, 2 rear tires at 93,000 miles. So that's like 8,000 miles ago, and an alignment done at the dealer as well. So what's not done of record? Well, I don't see anything about any brake replacements fairly recently. So generally when these cars come up for sale, they need brakes and tires. So this car may have new tires, but it probably needs brakes unless it has been done DIY or otherwise. The valley plate, nothing on the valley plate, replacement, resealing, anything like that. Fully expect this car to have a leaking valley plate at this age. It's heat cycles and time. It's not necessarily mileage, but this has all of it. It has miles too. So would not be surprised to see if the valley plate's leaking on this car. The carbon fiber trim, it's all original as far as the dealership goes. And we knew in 2022 that it was delaminating when it was for sale there. So probably may have gotten worse then, but it probably still has delaminating carbon fiber. The ZLZ, the sticky dash, that has expired on this car. It was March 27th of 2016. So the ZLZ expired March 27th of 2026. So just a couple months ago. The HVAC servo sweep, don't see anything about that on this car. So make sure it's fully warmed up, set one side to max hot, one side to max cold, and then cycle through everything and then switch sides and do it again. Make sure everything responds. If it doesn't, there is a fix for it, but sometimes the fix doesn't always correct it, and you have to replace some of the servos. But there is a fix available for it at this point, but it is no longer free. The KLG has not been done on this car, so that is the GPS location reporting incorrectly, so that hasn't been done. And the low pressure fuel pump recall, of which parts are not quite yet available. Once they are, you can take this to the dealer and they will replace your low pressure fuel pump free of charge. I don't see anything about the 60,000 mile service, so that's spark plugs, brake fluid, in-depth service, drive belt at this point with 105,000 miles, and 120,000 mile service will be due a second time here pretty soon. So that would be spark plugs. Again, this car probably has original spark plugs, I would guess. 100,000 miles is when Lexus says to replace the coolant. I don't see the coolant being replaced, but if you're going to do the valley plate, all of that gets done at the same time anyway. Nothing on transmission fluid replacement, nothing on TVD service, the torque vectoring differential. So it's a little bit lacking in service in that regards. It sounds to me like it needs some catching up. I would probably plan on brakes, a full service, spark plug replacement, coolant replacement, valley plate. It's not going to be cheap. So you're probably looking at another $4,000 to $5,000 you're going to have to put into this car if it has not been done. Now, if it's been done DIY or third party that just didn't report to Carfax, maybe it's more justified at the price it is. So that brings me to, would I buy this car? I think if I could get it cheaper. Now, if it was fully sorted and everything's done, it doesn't need brakes, doesn't need valley plate, and that does not appear to be the case, then it's probably justified at $45,000. Another great example would be, there is a liquid platinum. I think it's VIN 1149. I don't remember, but it's a liquid platinum that's for sale in San Antonio, Texas, with identical mileage. It has 105,000 miles on it. It was originally for sale for $45,000, and they've slowly dropped the price to $39,900 or something, so like $40,000. And that car has a leaking valley plate. It needs brakes, it needs tires, it has a bunch of chips on the front. The carbon fiber spoiler has a chip in it. There's got some wear on the interior. It hasn't been well serviced. That car, that's kind of in line with this car. This car looks to be a little bit better serviced, but not recently, so it needs some catching up. And so for that reason, I would say this car probably belongs around $40,000, and that would be where I would be a buyer for this car. So speaking of that other one, that liquid platinum one, that's a good price for that one where it is now with what it needs. But factor in the fact that it probably needs a valley plate done, probably needs brakes, and it needs a lot of catching up on service. Needs the spark plugs done, needs the coolant done, TVD service, transmission service, and so on. Probably needs a drive belt, things like that. And that's where I would put it. I would put this car around the $40,000 mark. And if it's more, if it is exceptionally clean when we see the photos, or if there's more that's been replaced than we don't see on Carfax and service and everything else, then maybe it's justified to get it a little higher. At the end of the day, it is a clean title, no accident California car. So it does have that going for it. It's not, going to be super rusty underneath. It's had a bunch of owners, but it looks like it's like 21, 22 is when that happened. The first owner was a lease. The second owner had it for a couple of years, and then it just kind of changed hands until it got to the fifth owner in 2022. So like the last 3 or 4 years for the most recent owner, it just hasn't been serviced at the dealer there. But it has still been serviced, just not well serviced. So that's where I'm at for this one. 1282 has the potential to be good, but you probably need to get it cheaper. It's a Lexus of Fremont, so they're probably not going to come off their price too much either. So that's what I've got for you guys. VIN 1282. When the pictures do pop up, let me know in the comments any other info you have on this, or definitely feel free to email them to me if you see them otherwise. Thanks again for watching. We'll see you soon.